Hey everyone, we're still on Rocktopia doing a little bit of Easter Mayhem. We're in the level 2 one today, so you can see I've donned the slightly better armor. And we're going to retreat back a little bit so we can get a few shots in before they get here. We're also definitely going to want to take a pill or two here. There we go. And let's get started. These have a little bit more hit points, obviously, than the level 8 ones that we had previously fought. Subsequently, it'll take a little longer in order for us to trigger the boss, I feel. Because we're using the same gun, so it's the same DPS, same ped spent. And I didn't reset the daily, so we're still working on that level 2 daily. I suppose we should remember to reset it since the level 1 daily is a little, I say a lot quicker to knock out. You get that easy 1 Mayhem token. And so we should probably try and be better about that. And so, again, our looter level is pretty low, so basically the only thing we're going to get today, as far as loot goes, is likely to be shrapnel the whole way. Oh, there's another, we got a token and a codex rank up. And so that'll give us a little bit to claim once we return to Calypso here soon. And it looks like they cut through our Mayhem armor just a little bit, even with the Imperium officer plates on it. Which I suppose we should kind of focus and try and get those next ones kind of worked up. Get them up to improved, I think it is. Where you get your first block chance on those plates. And we have one of the upgrade components. We actually just need to get the, I don't know what it is, plush type thing. I think it's a Imperium officer. It's a furniture blueprint anyway. In which I actually haven't been able to pop that blueprint, so we'll have to find someone who makes that and probably just buy them. But I was hoping to have one or two so that we could, I could get them at, a few at a time. since it'll take a second to track down someone that makes those, I think. I don't imagine it's too common. I've seen a couple people though. I just wasn't at a stage where I wanted to load up on that. AKA, I hadn't got the component yet. So yeah, these hit reasonably hard. Hopefully we can get a few more points than we did on the last Mayhem instance. Since we're still a long way from that first um, level reward. No, the big thing you can get here are those Mayhem tokens and the Easter boxes. And that's kind of what we're hoping for a little bit. I think we got one token already. No boxes yet, though. And we'll get one off the boss in any event. So it's as long as you grind it through to the boss, you can't actually go away empty-handed. Well, so far we're making okay progress on the points. I saw we got a little bit of a jump there. I think it was 2 kills ago. But it's definitely a pretty slow grind on the lower instances, even on the bronze level. Well, that was a nice one, 20 ped. Again, all shrapnel, which is kind of what we expect until we level up our looter level a bunch. And so these instances are super nice for people who use rifles because as you can see, I can keep all of them way over there and I get a bunch of free shots in as they kind of run at us to the point where we'll kill some almost before they get to us. Other ones will only be down about halfway. And that one dodged a bunch and it was still 60% by the time it got to us. And we're using the Mayhem armor just because I think that we would have to stop and heal a little too often if we tried to get by on the Pixie, especially since some of these hits, they're cutting through the Mayhem armor with the plates. So the amount of damage we'd be taking with Pixie armor would be pretty high. And so at that point, it's worth it to kind of use a bigger armor or hire a healer. Those are kind of your two options. I just like that we're given an extra codex seasonally to kind of work up. So it's kind of some free stat points, some free attribute points. Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing. And some extra skills. And so plus it's kind of nice just to hunt something new every now and again. It's part of the reason we teach planets about every week. Not trying to spend a bunch of time grinding through something all in one sitting. Like to spread it out a little bit, work on this project a little, work on that project a little, circle back to this other project. But we're not taking too many hits, so hopefully we're not taking too much decay either. That way we could just racking up some skills. Like that one only hit us twice. I kind of think they should just have this Easter Mayhem Annihilation as a bar, like most of the other things are now. That way you're not just sitting at it staring at 50 points for, 90 minutes and 2 hours. If you don't see your bar move, that's pretty normal. Especially if you do some of the bigger quests like the Total Citizenship, or there's not another one that jumps to mind right off the bat, but something along those lines where it's a bunch of kills, so it's very small movement. I think we see like one little tick or two every time we go do that a bit. And so we're just slowly grinding through it. Now for this, obviously, we only have through I think it was the 22nd when we looked it up. Oh, that was a nice one. And we're slowly grinding through this daily. What do we get for this one? I think it's 2 tokens? 5 tokens. Ooh, fancy. But we can see it move after every kill. And so that's kind of nice. And now that there's no real damage that we're taking, and we don't have to heal at all, we literally just have to hit next target, next target, next target. And so it becomes very simple, very easy, so to speak. And we could probably go up one more tier, but that's probably the extent of how far I think we could go up and reasonably expect to handle the boss. Oh yeah, the armor increases our DPS a little bit too, because it gives us a small reload boost from having, I think it's 5 pieces. I don't know if you can tell, but we're missing the shoes there. Instead, since I couldn't find Mayhem shoes at the time, we went ahead and got some Spartacus shoes, which are really good uh, animal defensive shoes as well, but not as all around effective as the Mayhem armor is. Oh, there's another token for us. Yep, brings our total to 9 for the event so far. Let's see what we got. Our range plasma damage just went up, which is important because of the large amount of plasma weapons that don't exist in the game. There are a few though, but not very many. And so that's a peripheral skill up. I don't think I've ever actually even used a plasma weapon. We're closing in on 10% of the way to that first stage done on the Annihilation mission. So it's slow progress, but we are making some progress. So we'll see how far we get before the end. And if I remember right, it took about 45 minutes to spawn the boss on the level 2 one in the previous Mayhems, and we haven't really gone up much in DPS firepower since then, so I think we can reasonably assume we're about 15-ish, 15 to 18 minutes out on the boss. And then we'll see which little boss it is. Probably another Annihilator, just like we saw before, but slightly higher level. I think the boss on the first one was 16. So what are we thinking, 20? 20, 22? We'll see. That's my guess. But it gives us 15 minutes to hopefully get a few more Mayhem tokens and maybe a few more points on this Annihilator mission. Keep working this codex that we can't visibly see right now. Up. We'll be able to access it in a few days when we go to Calypso, though. Do a little re-gearing. A little bit of this Mayhem while we're there. We'll see what we're inspired to do. More Mayhem for sure. I'm trying to slowly stockpile these tokens. Ooh, that was a nice critical against us. It looks like we're closing in onto the last quarter of that stage 2 daily as well. And that'll give us a small little boost to tokens, we'll say. I like how easy this is compared to the first one because we were using the pixie armor in the first one. But I definitely think we did better both drop and token drop and box drop rate. We did better on the first one, I think. This has a little bit of time to redeem itself, but also it's hard to judge an instance based off only doing each one once. There's a lot of randomization in there. There we go. There's another codex rank. The next one will give us an attribute boost. So that's always exciting. Oh, and that jumped us up over the 10% for this annihilation mission. That one's a little close. I like my distance. Gotta keep my arms reach and whatnot. We'll slowly plink through these guys. I think we're less than sub 10 minutes on the boss. Oh, there's our first box of this instance. So that's nice. Slowly stockpiling those. One day we'll have to buy a round of keys and open them all, but we'll need more than the 4 we've gotten so far, I think. I do think the tokens are flowing a little better than they have for us in the previous ones. That's pretty nice. We're definitely getting them more regularly, or more often, I guess. And we're slowly working. I think we have 2, 3. Ooh, skill boost. I think we have 2, 3 levels till we're on to the next rifle still. That's a reasonable skill boost, 34% for 5 minutes. We can dig that for sure. Let's get some extra skills now. Well, I might have to take it back now that we've gotten a couple boxes and a small handful of the tokens. The level 2 is now treating us better than the level 1 did. Hopefully it continues to treat us kind of this way. Oh, there's our Warlock unit. Looks 41 minutes in. We got enough kills, it looks like. So we'll turn around and we'll go ahead and knock him down here. He should be to our... Yep, right there he is. Level 21. I said 20 to 22. So I feel that was a pretty solid guess. But you see he has a pretty significant amount of hit points compared to the non-boss ones, we'll say. And so we'll get a Easter box and a another Mayhem token off this guy. And because he costs so much to put down because he has so many hit points, if we do happen to get a good multiplier, that's where you'll see the big globals, I think. I mean, outside some of the bigger mobs like the 6, the 8, those take so much to kill anyway that when you do get a reasonable multiplier, those are going to global big anyway. Oh, there we go. A token, a Easter box, a little bit more shrapnel. That's going to wrap up the Easter Mayhem instance number 2 for us. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day. Stay epic.